2 days after the filing, Starbucks had terminated a 26-year employee hired by Howard Schultz in the 90s.
Loyalty is what they call that.
Exactly. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into last week in Southern labor. There's been a bunch of stuff happening in the South, so we want to tell you about it. Starting with new election filings, 10 workers at Blue Sprocket Pressing in Harrisonburg, Virginia, filed for a union election with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Local 29. 9 maintenance workers at SSM Health St. Louis University Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, filed for a union election with the Service Employees International Union, SEIU. 24 baristas at Starbucks in Jonesboro, Georgia, filed for a union election with Starbucks Workers United, and 2 days after the filing, the union announced that Starbucks had terminated, get this, a 26-year employee, Logan Matthews. This guy was hired by Howard Schultz in the 90s, and they fired him literally days after they filed for a union election, and it came out that he was one of the leaders of the union.
Loyalty is what they call that.
Exactly. That's what company loyalty. Yeah, that's what the company will do for you. Logan has worked at over 50 locations and opened 8 stores for the company. The incident that he is supposedly being fired for happened in July, and yet he was only fired for it last week in September, days after he became a public union leader. This really underscores the arbitrary power that employers have when their employees do not have a union contract, and is all the more reason for every barista in the country to unionize and fast, and in fact, to underscore that even more, that how much power you have with a union even if you don't have a contract yet. Literally just yesterday, as I was doing prep for the show, it came out that Logan was reinstated by the company after the enormous backlash from the union and the public. So that's what being in a union will get you, and all the more reason for baristas at Starbucks and everywhere to unionize, and unionize fast. 44 workers at Continental Carbon Company in Ponca City, Oklahoma, filed for a union election with the United Steelworkers. Back in April, Kim Kelly broke the news for the Valley Labor Report that a decertification petition had been filed at Warrior Met to get rid of the UMWA as the union there, and we are happy to report now that the NLRB has blocked the decertification attempt because they ruled that the attempt was derivative of Warrior Met's illegal practices both before and during the 2-year-long strike. There were 2 sets of workers that withdrew their petition for union election. 13 workers at PSA in Norfolk, Virginia withdrew their petition for unionization with the Teamsters Local 822, and 130 workers at Transdev Services in Arlington, Virginia withdrew their petition for unionization with the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 689. We had a few election results. 26 workers at Starbucks in Clemson, South Carolina voted 17-4 in favor of unionization with Starbucks Workers United. 17 workers at 10 Roads Express in Richmond, Virginia voted unanimously 17-0, 100% voter turnout in favor of unionization with the American Postal Workers Union, APWU. 39 workers at the Center for the Pan-Asian Community Services in Atlanta, Georgia voted 11-7 in favor of unionization with Workers United. Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate. In strikes and bargaining updates, the CWA's bargaining committee has come to a tentative agreement with Frontier Communications on a new 4-year agreement. After several contract extensions that we kept you up to date on during last week in Southern Labor, the CWA said in their announcement that the contract achieves significant wage increases, preserves existing job security language, and maintains quality health and welfare benefits. In addition, Frontier has committed to creating additional jobs and a long-term work-at-home agreement. Members of the union will be voting on the agreement in the coming weeks, and we'll let you know how they vote. Walmart began paying some new hires $1 an hour less in July. It was first reported on last week by the Wall Street Journal. With no union at Walmart, there is no bargaining over the change. Hundreds of sanitation workers, members of the United Electrical Workers UE Local 150 for the city of Durham, North Carolina, went out on strike on September the 6th, and as of recording have not returned to work. Their demands include an immediate $5,000 bonus, pay for all work done outside of their job titles, and bringing all temporary employees on as permanent workers. They are being supported by the Southern Workers Assembly and have multiple events already planned for the next week. No cash, no trash is their slogan. Despite public sector collective bargaining agreements being illegal in North Carolina, this union in particular has racked up some impressive wins, including some that they discussed on our program last year. That's not all that's happening in Durham. The Union of Southern Service Workers held an action at a local Waffle House, and that's not all that the Union of Southern Service Workers was up to last week either. Waffle House workers in Atlanta, Georgia, delivered a demand letter to management over working conditions and wages. The United Campus Workers have been on a roll in the South. Last week, they announced the formation of a new chapter at Virginia Tech in partnership with the Virginia Education Association's Graduate Labor Union on campus. Graduate workers at the University of Florida announced that they had reached an agreement that includes a $2,200 increase to the minimum stipend, merit raises, and removal of outside employment restrictions. Shangri-La dispensary workers with the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 655 in Columbia, Missouri are still on strike. They began in May. Three Brothers Coffee workers with UFCW Local 1995 in Nashville, Tennessee have been on strike since June, and Memphis soy protein production workers with the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers and Grain Millers International Union, BCTGM Local 390G, have also been on strike since June. You can watch our interview with local President Cedric Wilson on our YouTube channel. Bargaining continues contentiously with the UAW. Stellantis and GM finally responded with very similar offers to what Ford countered with. After GM's response, UAW President Shawn Fain said that GM either doesn't care or isn't listening when we say we need economic justice at GM by 11:59 p.m. on September 14th. The clock is ticking. Stop wasting our members' time. Tick tock. In politics and legislation, the American Association of University Professors released the results of a survey of professors at Southern colleges. Respondents said they are deeply dissatisfied with higher education due to the impact of political interference and attacks on tenure. Most would not recommend their state for work, and many are looking for employment elsewhere. Retirement Systems of Alabama CEO David Bronner is warning that Republicans in the legislature and Alabama Governor Kay Ivey are eyeing an extreme school choice bill for the next session. To support workforce development programs that prepare young people and help them access good-paying careers, the U.S. Department of Labor announced last week the award of a $14 million grant to 7 organizations in 5 states, including Florida, Virginia, and Georgia, to deliver workforce services when youth are out of school. In internal union affairs, we spoke last week about a decertification campaign in the National Rural Letter Carriers Association. We spoke about that last week, and a rural carrier reached out to me regarding that decertification campaign, and they said that they agreed that there needs to be reform in the union, but were very much opposed to a decertification attempt. They recommended getting more information about the Rural Carriers Union from a podcast by some rural carriers, United We Scan, as well as diving into Labor Notes' vast resources on reform caucuses. Union Plus is an organization that provides discounts and benefits to union members. Every year, they give out a bunch of money and prizes, and Sharon Amir, a member of IATSE Local 700, won the grand prize of $40,000 and a trip to Ireland. She has committed her cash winnings, to the Entertainment Community Fund, which was set up by her union to help stagehands out of work due to the ongoing entertainment strikes. Additionally, myself and Adam were winners of a $2,000 prize.
Hey, that's a big show of solidarity, giving up all that money for their brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
that's
seriously.
Awesome.
She got $40,000 and she's like...
she gave it to all of her brothers and sisters.
That's awesome. But yeah, Adam and I also won $2,000, and we're going to be using that money on the show. So we're really excited to be recipients of some of those funds as well. In listener submissions, Brandy Booth told us about a wildcat strike that he saw in 1993 that was a result of management trying to speed up a line without negotiating. When the workers told management to go through the bargaining process, he got angry, pulled the chairs from the assembly line, and that's when the workers, quote, put down their tools, grabbed a coffee, and sat under the tree out back behind the plant. Booth said that the young boss was reprimanded by higher leadership, had to personally put the chairs back on the line and undergo sensitivity training. If we missed anything, folks, let us know about your union news from last week in the South, and we might talk about it on the next update. tvlr.fm/contact is where you can drop your tips. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.